All right. Time now is 1:15 p.m. on May 1st. We have made it to May. Woo! I slept from 5:35. I actually couldn't fall asleep until 5:50 till 12:15. I woke up by the alarm, but I was like fuck it. So I went back to sleep for about 45 more minutes. So I woke up at 1. Um, yeah, so another super late sleep. I really hate it. I like sleeping late and waking up late feels nice sometimes. But when it's too late and you start seeing the sun rise and you start hearing the birds chirp and cars start to like go vroom vroom, then you realize that holy shit, I'm like, why am I going to bed now? Also, I think it's because I've been having natural wake ups in the last 4 or 5 days that it's getting more and more difficult for me to fall asleep. I don't know why, but I'm having difficulty sleeping now because I've been sleeping too much. I've been oversleeping. So, um, yeah, yeah. I don't know. So, yeah, that's fucked up. I didn't take the sleeping pills that I was going to take last night, but I think I will do that tonight. I'm gonna try to limit the amount of things I do every single day. Was yesterday productive? I only watched one episode of anime. Instead of five episodes of anime plus a movie, I only watched one episode of anime. And that was at 4:30 a.m., by the way. Um, but I feel like I did scroll through Instagram less. I also did study. I found CTCS 394, like film history, is very difficult to study. Like, what the fuck do I even study? Like, other than looking at some facts, reading more text, books, books with text. Like, so I found a way to create this humongous table that essentially is a timeline. And then it's like, well, in the 1960s this happened, in the 1970s this happened, so this table is going to be helpful. But I haven't done art history studying, but I'm much more confident in art history somehow. Like, film history is the one that sucked the most ass. For some reason, art history and religion are the two subjects that I enjoy the most this semester. So, yeah, that's that. So, another thing today is I'm going to be meeting Matthew, the Singaporean guy. Wow, human interaction for the win. It's my first actual human interaction, like physical human interaction. I don't think I've even spoken to my roommate. He's outside right now. It's my first physical human interaction since the APCA banquet and after party, so it's been like almost 4 days since I've interacted with a human being. So, yay, that's cool, right? Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Um, yeah, I actually turned on the AC last night. I felt really hot. I think that's the thing with hot showers is like hot water touch your skin, the heat diffuses, so now you feel hot. And because the area around you is colder, like the environment is colder, so now heat is releasing to the environment, so it's exothermic, so now you feel extra hot because heat is coming out of your skin. So I either take a cold shower or I take a hot shower, which is nice, but I wait. Like, maybe I should develop a habit where I maybe take half an hour out before sleeping, before falling asleep, between shower and brushing teeth and falling asleep, and just, I don't know, look at my phone or like write something on my phone, like a script or something, you know. Just like I should develop a habit like that because a shower and then immediately sleeping is like, it's too hot for me. It's too fucking exothermic. Um, but yeah. that's that. Not much else. Still don't know what to do with summer, but I think given that Matthew, the Singaporean guy, is in CAMS, I think he's going to know a thing or two about the idea of being in film production and a cohort life. And I think once I get a better idea of that, I will know whether I need to drop my summer class or not. So, yeah, I think I'm going to do that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Ouch. Fuck. Okie dokie, time now is 8:52 p.m. I'm just gonna wrap up today right here, right now. Yeah, nothing too crazy happened today. I woke up, by an alarm. I'm a little bit tired right now. Also, my chest is not sore. That's a problem. Last night I did, 30 push-ups, but like, I'm not feeling anything to my chest. But my abs, however, they're feeling something. They're feeling a little sore, but not my chest. No, not my chest, not even my arms. My arms maybe a little bit actually. But mostly my abs and my legs because they're the muscles that I work out the least, you know. But jumping jacks turn out to be really effective exercise for me for legs, even though it's not even supposed to be. It's supposed to be a cardio exercise. Okay, anyways, I had the disgusting rainbow donuts that I bought from Ralph's a while back. I bit into it. I didn't want to eat it, but also it's food and I have to eat it. I bit into it, and I think I used a knife and cut it open, and I put one chunk into my mouth. And as I was about to chew, I stared at the cross section of the donut that I just cut with a knife. And it's like colory because it's got a lot of color, rainbow sprinkles, and it's the food coloring on those sprinkles have sort of seeped into the bread. And then I looked at the center, which is, the marshmallow fluff. There's a huge bluish green patch right beside the fluff. And I didn't chew. I just looked at the cross section and I'm like, that looks a little bit like mold. And then I for like maybe a whole minute or maybe like 10 seconds, I had the donut in my mouth and I'm like, is it mold? Or is it just the food coloring of maybe the blue sprinkles have somehow. And then I'm like, I don't know. So I'm like, okay, screw it. It's probably just sprinkles. It's edible. There's no way there's mold from the center of the donut. There's no way. It's usually from the outside, from the surface, and then it enters the donut, right? It doesn't. Okay. And then out of curiosity, I cut open the other donut. And holy shit, the other donut has the same problem. It's fucking mold. So I immediately spit it out. Thank God I didn't chew. I had it in my mouth. I spit it out and I threw all of it into the trash. Holy fuck. Moldy donut from the middle. But thank God that's a great excuse for me to not eat the donut. So instead I had sweet potato pie, which is huge. Like, I didn't expect the sweet potato pie to be this much, but it is a lot. Had it. Or was it pumpkin pie? That's pumpkin pie, I believe. Anyways, I don't know. Anyways, and then afterwards, very soon after, I had a very simple grilled cheese. 2 slices of bread, 1 mozzarella cheese, and that's it. That's my lunch. And I stuffed it all into my mouth because I had to make it to USC on time. So I hopped on the bus, I ran out, caught the bus, and went to the main entrance, and boom, the main entrance, the whole thing is closed. I even had my student ID ready. So I walked all the way across, like, the North Road, Jefferson, was it? And then I went south to find an entrance to the side. So I went in and I finally, I went to TCC, the tuition center, and I found and I waited there a little bit, and then Matthew, the Singaporean guy, finally showed up. Oh, with a cup of coffee, with a paper cup of coffee. And I was like, "Where did you get that cup of coffee?" And he's like, "Oh, from the encampment." So right, so when I was walking towards TCC, I looked to my left, and I see this humongous campsite um, that is right across DMC, and it's just students set up tents, and with all these colorful banners and posters, just as protest. And it's honestly reminiscent of like these protest tents in Hong Kong. Maybe in Occupy Central, not so much in the anti-extradition bill, the 2019 protests, because they're more like be like water protests. But yeah, oh my god. So it's really interesting to see it like up close. And Matthew was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be in the encampment all day." I didn't know what he meant. I thought he was like, "Oh, campus," but no, he meant actual encampment. Like more like I didn't know what encampment means until today. So, anyways, I met him at TCC, and we just sat down and just talked for an hour, and then he left. He went to the bathroom, and I left. I wanted to get something like get coffee or whatever, but at the end of the day, didn't want to waste my money anyways. But I was really thirsty, and my voice was really raspy. Even now, it's really raspy. But yeah, I and Matthew, we talked, and he's a huge cinephile. He's like a hardcore cinephile. On Letterboxd, he's logged over 2,500 films. And he's a sophomore, but he's older than me. And the reason being is because he served the military in Singapore. But yeah. So we talked. He very much likes to talk about like films. He's not a writer-director person. I asked him what he wants to do, and he's like, I don't know, film preservation or film programming for film festivals or like film archives, like stuff like that, which I highly respect. I also like film preservation. I wouldn't make it my number one job, but I wish I could at least contribute something to film preservation the same way Martin Scorsese is doing the Film Foundation. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, he wants to talk about film more so than I want to talk about film to him. Even though I love talking about film, like he's like, "Oh, what are your favorite directors? Like, what are your, what are your favorite, what are your biggest influences?" And like, have you been to this? And he knows more than me. Like, "Oh, have you been to this 2220 art center?" And I'm like, "No." Apparently, there's this art center that screens obscure art films, and he's like, "Oh, there's this I interned for a film programming company in Singapore, and like I screened some films over there." And I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." And so he selected it to go to Cannes, which is a huge deal. God, my hair. And the two films he wrote the essays on are Claire Denis' Beau Travail and Roberto Rossellini's Journey to Italy. So it's really interesting. I also really want to get to Cannes, but I don't know if it's possible. It's very competitive, and part of me thinks like, "Oh, if I can't even get into film production, how the fuck am I gonna get into film studies?" Though it's two totally different like, fields, But yeah. I didn't gain a lot of insight about like the film cohort life and film sets and film production because he's not about that. But I don't know if I really want to like know. First of all, even though the cohort life isn't a thing for CAM students, at least if I take CPR 290, it's like it's like similar, but only for one semester. But you get to get close with everyone in your crew. And also, a lot of CAM students know jack shit about filmmaking, according to Matthew, the Singaporean guy. So I have upper hand advantage. Obviously, there are other people who know a lot about filmmaking as well, but I got the upper hand advantage. Um, and then again, it's not impossible for me to get into a 480. I just need to try extremely hard. I just need to impress the professor next semester, and practice my drawing skills, which I will do tonight, hopefully. But yeah, I want to not have a huge lunch today, and I'm already dying of hunger now because I want to eat dinner earlier so that I can do more things after dinner so that I can sleep earlier, which is my plan for tonight. So, yeah, so far, is it productive? Not really. I'm still editing my mini movie review, but before that even happens, I'm gonna cook dinner actually, and then I'll watch more anime tonight, or actually I'll watch film tonight, again, and then that's it. And then I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about tuition and like money, because the thing is, even if I get a job, the thing is, job is great because I get some money, but it's like nothing. Even if I work for 2 years, it's not going to pay back how much I lost because of the USC tuitions. And the idea of my parents selling our apartment away just for me to study at USC is terrible, because parents shouldn't do that. But because my parents are not like, you know, pushing me away from USC and encourage me to go to USC, it's like an acceptable thing, but actually it's not acceptable. I'm honestly down to fucking protest, even if it's just me alone. I'm gonna protest in front of the financial aid office, starve myself, sit on a blanket and hold a sign, you know? And hopefully that gets some kind of attention. Um, I don't know, but as much as I'm trying really hard to get jobs and stuff, that's not even the fucking point. I need financial aid package. I need financial aid help. I need as many grants and as many scholarships as I possibly can. So, yeah, that's that. All right, time now is 1:58 p.m. on May 2nd. Yeah, so I slept from 5:10 to 1:40 something. 1:40, let's just say. What a big sleep. I took 2 sleeping pills last night. I think those sleeping pills really worked. Because I basically immediately fell asleep. And I slept a lot, basically. Yeah. Oh, but yeah, last night, was yesterday productive, was yesterday not? I watched half of the Goldfinger. I didn't watch the whole film. And I watched one episode of anime, and that's it. I did put a lot of time, maybe a whole hour out to study American film history, building that timeline. Um, so that's cool, but it's still like a pain in the ass to study film history. Like, just the way the study materials are put together and the way it's taught is just so uninteresting. I also did take a little time out to do art history, but one thing is the world building class. I was like, oh yeah, I also have shit to do for my world building class and my religion class. Turns out the world building class, the final document delivery was May 1st, 6 p.m. And revisions and reflections document was due like April 29th. Holy shit. So I immediately did them both at around 2 a.m. And I was late, but whatever. Um, but yeah. So hopefully today I study more. I also didn't draw, which sucks, but it's fine, given that I have like a whole summer ahead of me to practice drawing. Um, yeah, which is not saying a lot because I've been trying to draw for like years now. So one summer is probably not enough, but yeah, hopefully I get to draw a little bit tonight. But yeah, that's it. That's the plan. And yeah, today not much else to do. More filming reviews, more studying, more watching movies. And then at around 6 p.m. ish, I'm going to go out and go to SCA and watch the first episode of The Sympathizer, which I'm very excited to watch on a big screen. Very cool. If only Park Chan-wook himself would show up, I would literally wet my pants. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Not to get political too much, but USC decided to close its campus gates, and block off all the protesters inside the campus, which is horrifying because this is literally what happened to PolyU and Chinese University back in November of 2021. And it's interesting because I told Matthew about this, and he's like, bro, people should make movies about this and not this rom-com shit. I know. And then he went back to the encampment and then this shit happens. So it's really scary. I hope everyone's alright. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but Matthew is also taking CTCS 200 with me next semester, which means that in the next CTCS 200, me and Rachel, and then on top of that, Lily, the Vietnamese American girl, and then now Matthew, we're all going to be in the same class. So somehow I've already found a group. Maybe the cohort life still exists somewhere in the world of cams. Who knows? Yeah, but I think going to the art direction class definitely helps me enter that film production cohort life. I guess one last thing is, Evelyn wanted to hang out with me. He's like, oh, are you free next Monday? And I'm like, no, I got finals. Also, Eric is texting me right now, because a while ago I texted Eric if he's going to the Anime Expo because I want people to come with me. So I and Eric talked just a tiny bit. He asked me how I'm doing. I asked him how he's doing in Cal State LA. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I'll cancel the summer class. Low key, if only I have the money, I want to go to Japan in the summer. Like, I still haven't really been to Tokyo. I've been to Tokyo for 2.5 days, but like, I want to just be at Tokyo for 2 weeks. And I keep not having that opportunity. Maybe next summer, maybe next year's summer I would. I don't know. But, yeah. I do really want to go to Tokyo. And I do really want to also travel around in Osaka and Kyoto. But like, I don't know. Michelle has become a weeb. Like, Michelle really wants to go as well because of the history and the gardens and the food and the castles. And I'm like, wow, you've become a weeb. But I'm a weeb too. So maybe we should go together and stuff. But yeah. I really don't know if this summer is really like, if I don't get a summer job, but then if I travel, I would be wasting more money. I need a summer job. I don't know. I don't fucking know. Yeah, but anyways, summer plans. If I'm not taking the summer class, then most likely I'll be going onto film sets. Drawing, working out. That's it. So, yeah. Doing that for 3.5 months. Kinda whack. Yeah. Kinda whack.
that you have a lot of questions for our esteemed guests.
Book. This is only something you can do cinematically. He was like, damn. But it was one of those great ideas that director Park had where he really recognized that these characters each represented different pillars of American patriarchy and kind of all here as a student and kind of fallen in love with it, but then he decided to go back, and he's always had this conflict between his two blood brothers.
All right, time now is 9:17 p.m. Yeah, I just came home. I'm in my street clothes, as you can see. Nothing too crazy happened today. I do have to mention that, what was I gonna mention? I forgot. I'm too tired. I don't know why I'm tired. Maybe it's the sleeping pills from last night, but I'm really, like, not in the mood to speak in an energetic way. But anyways, I went to USC. I went to SCA to watch The Sympathizer episode 1 on a big screen. It's made for TV, and it's expected for people to watch on a laptop, but it's great that I'm able to see on a big screen. On my way to school, I ran into Jamie, the Chinese woman, and the Shirley, the Chinese girl from my class, from my world building class. I said, "Hey," and Shirley didn't recognize me, but Jamie did, even though Shirley have seen me more. So Jamie recognized me and was like, "Hey," and they were with another friend, and then they kept walking. So it's cool. Hopefully this reminds Jamie or Shirley about hiring me for art PA or something. Like, please do something about that. And then, because I don't want to DM them and beg them. Or maybe I should. I should DM them and say, "Hey, how's it going?" Anyways, right. So I went to, it's a little awkward because, so the entire USC campus only has two entrances now. One is McCarthy and the other is, Garden, I believe it's called. Gateway, right. And one is in the north side. One is in the east side. Yesterday when I went to meet Matthew, I went through the east side. But today I realized, oh yeah, McCarthy, which is much closer to me. Which, if anything, only benefits dentists and filmmakers of USC. Went through there and they had to check my bags, check my student ID. I went into the theater and I watched it. It was great. I saw Audrey, the Asian girl, the Chinese/white girl, and she was sitting in front of me and she was like, "Hey," and then right behind Audrey, it's John L. Of course he would go to an event like this. So a little bit later, after the screening finished and the Q&A was finished, I and John L. spoke a little bit, just to update. I told John L. that I met Matt. I keep calling him Matthew, but he's Matt, right? But yeah, the Q&A is also really interesting, because apparently the Vietnamese American professor, her husband wrote The Sympathizer, which is directed by Park Chan-wook, one of my favorite directors of all time. So, oh my god. It's actually, like, the more I stay in the sphere of filmmaking in LA, the more I feel like I'm close to, actual, big film, and closer to the heroes I want to meet. Yet at the same time, so far. So close yet so far. It's like, the world is so big yet so small. But yeah, it is really impressive. Another thing is John L. is going to Cannes, but not representing USC because he's graduated. He's going to Cannes alone, or maybe with some producers, maybe with Allegro, I don't know, to represent in the American Pavilion for his short film, Anywhere the Wind Blows, which I worked on, of course. But yeah, congratulations, holy shit. I wish one day a short film I make would also end up in the American Pavilion, or the Hong Kong Pavilion, if that's a thing. But definitely really cool. So yeah, I'm so close yet so far, right? But yeah, it's cool that I went today and I ran into several more people. Hopefully the Vietnamese American professor noticed me as well. And then that's it. And then tomorrow I have nothing to do. A big part of me wants to go to H Mart tomorrow because I want sushi. And I also want to buy more food. I want that pork belly. I want that juicy pork belly. I want kimchi. I want banana milk. So I'm going to H Mart tomorrow, I believe. And then another thing is CTCS 394 final exam, which is next Monday. It's now turned online, which means it's open book now, which means it's way less stressful now. And it's typed, not handwritten, which has pros and cons. Both Rachel and Equo were elated by this, but I was a little bit more scared because, not a little bit more scared, but I wasn't as elated by it because no matter if it's open book or closed book, open book is definitely better. It's just, I don't know, if it's closed book, it's a game of memory and a lot of people will fail. But then again, I have this competition mindset that I inherited from my times in Hong Kong. But the art history exam is still in person and also still at DMC, which is arguably even more, not arguably, actually even more dangerous of a place than the Norris Theater, because the DMC is literally right beside the camps. So yeah. But yeah, Michelle's really busy until next week. So unfortunately I can't watch Hundreds of Beavers with her. I have to watch it by myself, basically. But after she finishes school, we get to hang out and we get to watch Challengers and we get to watch House. And Evelyn's still hanging out with me next Monday, so that's cool. It's interesting because I haven't seen her in when's the last time I saw Evelyn, It's been a long time. I think the last time I saw Evelyn was I think at one point back in maybe March or April last year, which is not that long ago. I mean, yeah, it's just a year. I haven't seen my brother in over a year. It's funny to think that Evelyn is someone I haven't seen for a very long time, but the last time I saw Evelyn is still closer than the last time I saw my own brother, which is kind of tragic, right? Yeah, and then not much else. Yeah. Not much else. So, tomorrow, H Mart. The next day, I'm going to the Grove to watch Evil Does Not Exist. On Sunday, we'll be studying with Rachel and Equo. And then on Monday, I don't know, the exam, right? And then Tuesday at home, Wednesday, final exam. Thursday, I'm going to Beverly Hills to watch Hundreds of Beavers, so on and so forth. Low-key, I want to go to Japan this summer. Maybe it's the influence of multiple people telling me that they're going to Tokyo this summer, but it's also the fact that I haven't traveled in a while. I haven't really traveled since Japan, back in December 2022. But I don't know. I'm broke. I don't want to spend more money. But truly, if I drop this summer class, I have nothing to do in the summer other than wasting more time. So I do want to go somewhere. Maybe not Japan, but I don't want to go to anywhere that's not that interesting to me. I want to just go to South Korea or Japan or Taiwan, and they're all East Asia, and the plane tickets are hella expensive. I don't know, we'll see. And that's it. I'm gonna make Japanese curry and drink a can of Coca-Cola tonight, which I'm very excited about. I don't know why. I've been thinking about Japanese curry for the last few days. Yeah. Again. Shit, I scared it away, did I? There we go. Fuck. 5 a.m. in the morning. Shit, it's still alive, isn't it? Another one bites the dust. Alright, time now is 2:51 p.m. on May 3rd. Holy shit, it's suddenly so cold, what the fuck? Yeah, so, god damn, I don't know what the fuck happened to me. I don't know what's happening in my brain. I don't know, okay? So last night I went to bed at 5:20, which is already bad, because I planned to sleep earlier than 5. And again, I went to bed at 5:20 and the sun was rising and the birds started to chirp. Last night was kind of awful. Like, I didn't do anything. After I came back home from the sympathizer screening, I had the Japanese curry rice. And then I proceeded to spend 3 hours not doing anything because I was just so tired. I don't know why, but I felt really tired. So I didn't really study. I didn't really do anything. I didn't edit college. I didn't watch more anime. I didn't do any of that. And then at around 4, I'm like, fuck it, I'll study a little bit. So I studied some art history, and that took a whole hour, and then it's already 5. And then I took a shower, and then I went to bed. I couldn't fall asleep. I rolled around on my bed. I was wide awake. I would open my eyes, and I'm wide awake. There isn't a single feeling of drowsiness in me. And then I kept rolling around my bed, and I felt hot, and I'm like, fuck it. So I turned on the AC, and I also took one sleeping pill. And then I still couldn't fall asleep, but it took me around 30 minutes, and then I fell asleep. So I fell asleep around 7:30. Around 7, I woke up and went to turn on the AC. And now it's cold as fuck. Maybe it's the AC, I don't know. Maybe it's just my skin fucking with me. My temperature sensors on my skin is fucking with me. I don't know. But yeah, that's terrible. I don't know why. Maybe it's too, late? 5:20 is too late in the morning for my body to be like, yeah, it's time for sleep. Because right before sleep, Thomas woke up and said, hey, or said nice. Because I texted him about, the sympathizer. But yeah. I also spent, maybe an hour talking to my mom on the phone yesterday. There have been some pretty depressing revelations. So, money is depressing because we live in a capitalist hellscape. And I don't, because I'm going to USC, my family's gonna sell their car and gonna sell the apartment. And for a couple months already, this thought sometimes returns in my mind, and that is, damn, I didn't know that last December is the last time I'll ever see my own apartment. See my bedroom, the place I've lived in for so many years, for 12, 13, 14 years, Jesus, I grew up there. And turns out it's the last time I'll ever see it in my life. If I come back to Hong Kong next summer, it's it's already a different place. I can still see my family, and Hong Kong is still Hong Kong. The food and the people and the language, hopefully it's still Hong Kong, I don't know. But the place I grew up in, which is a huge part of my childhood and my identity, will be gone. And then by then I will feel like a homeless person. Because as much as I'm enjoying living in this apartment right now, this isn't me, Neither is a place in Sawtell really me. I lived there for a year-ish, more than a year, but I don't know. I will lose my sense of place, and I feel like that's going to make me extremely sad to the point where I don't know, I feel like I'm going to enter another depressive rabbit hole, and I don't want that. I do want to go back to Hong Kong just to look at my apartment one more time. But then the argument can be made that I will feel even sadder if I go back and live there one more time. Like, if someone you love is gonna die, it's better to have them die off screen than in front of you, right? Or if you know someone's gonna die, it's better to leave them alone rather than seeing them one more time before they die, because you know that's painful. And I don't want to experience that pain, so maybe I'm just gonna let it die. And I asked my mom if it's okay to, like, if it's possible to sell the apartment later, so that maybe next year summer I could return and it's still gonna be there. And she's like, no, it's impossible. Like, this year is already like a really late. So the thing is, the moment I decided to study in the USA, my mom already planned to sell the apartment. It's not some irrational random decision. And now that my brother is also going to the US, my mom has to sell the apartment now. Like, there's no other choice. Because the thing is, she needs $400 million. It's about $250 million for me to study. And because it's like not 400 million, 4 million. So it's about $2.5 million for me. The tuition and life, it's about 2.5 million Hong Kong dollars. But now my brother is studying in the USA, even though it's in Seattle, which is way cheaper, but still, that is like 1.5 million to 2 million. So like my mom needs 4 million more dollars, and the only way to do that is to sell the apartment. So it's inevitable. I can get tons of jobs, I can get tons of scholarships and internships and whatever, and grants. It's not going to give me 4 million Hong Kong dollars. It's impossible. So selling the apartment is inevitable. There's literally nothing I can do. There's nothing anyone can do. It's done. It's a done deal. You know, it's not a done deal, but it will be a done deal. So my mom continued to talk because I don't want to take writing 340 in the summer because it felt stupid, you know. Then what the hell do I do in the summer? I mean, sure, I can just go to the gym, take a driver's test, and work on film sets, but like doing that for 3.5 months is not good. Like, remember last year summer where I basically spent 3.5 months not doing much? And I feel like, you know, aside from the interviews, it's like kind of purposeless. Same here, you know. So I wanted to travel because, again, last time I traveled was 2022. So my mom's like, yeah, you should travel. Maybe you should come back to Hong Kong again. And I'm like, again? I plan to come back in 2025 summer, you know. But yeah. So I may actually go back to Hong Kong again. So yeah, I've been back to Hong Kong in every single fucking holiday. If you count last winter as part of that holiday, then yeah, it counts. Yeah. So maybe I'll go back to Hong Kong, or maybe I'll go to Hong Kong plus another place. Maybe I don't know. I really want to go to Japan, honestly, again, but I really want to because I'm a weeb, and there are so many places I want to go. You know, it's interesting because this is the year I'm supposed to graduate. If I was in a 4-year program, right, and I really do all 4 years without extending anything, I would be graduating this year, and which would be sad actually. I went through the entire college life without dating a single person as well. The ultimate loser, right? But also because this is my expected graduation date, I'm sure people like Leia or Zara and Miriam are also like planning some sort of graduation trip. Maybe I could join. If they're going to South Korea or Japan or Taiwan, maybe I could just join. Or Vietnam or something. I know Miriam and Zara was discussing going to Vietnam, you know. But it's also moments like this that my mom, when I talk to my mom about going to Japan, my mom's like, you know what, don't go there alone again. Like, find a girlfriend and go with your girlfriend. And I'm like, you know. Moments like this make me realize that if I have a girlfriend, if I have someone to love, and if someone loves me in the summer, wouldn't that be nice? Because at least every single day I wake up, I'm driven by something positive. You know, I'm driven by love. But the thing is, I don't fall in love with people, and again, like USC is full of boring people. Even my old community college arguably is full of boring people. And Film 32 and 33 made people a little bit more interesting for me, but ultimately people are still fucking boring. I'm sorry, but people are still like boring peoples, you know? Like, yeah. So, I don't know. Um, I want to fall in love with someone. I want someone to fall in love with me. Sometimes I think, do I look like someone you can fall in love with? Is my hair good enough? Is my voice good enough? Is my body good enough? And do I dress well enough? Do I walk well enough? Do I have a nice sense of humor? Do I have that confidence? Do I have that personality? I don't know. But next time I fall in love with that someone, I won't confess. Because confession is for children, and I'll riz that person up until that person confesses to me first. But then again, it's gonna turn into a hell of a psychological battle, you know, because who's gonna admit first? Who's gonna say girlfriend or boyfriend first? Like, who's gonna say that word in an official sense first will lose, you know. But the first semester is already over, and I'm not gonna see anybody, and I'm not gonna fall in love with anyone at all again because people are fucking boring. The only, I think, girl who I think is slightly interesting, but like, I wanted to be her friend, is this Malaysian girl in art history class because she seems like a real art history nerd, like, really passionate. And she also dresses really nice. Like, she has like street fashion, like Y2K or something, you know. But like, I don't know, everyone else is just an awkward mess. Awkward, boring mess. Like, Rachel is kind of an awkward mess. Stephanie too, like, she's also flat, so I mean I don't know. I also killed 4 cockroaches in my bedroom last night and 1 spider. And the spider was like right here. It's like, how the fuck did you even get here? And it has such long legs. Holy shit. So today I'm going to Target and H Mart. Okay. I'm going to both Target and H Mart. I'm gonna yeah, because I ran out of body wash and alcohol spray because I've been spraying too many cockroaches. And then I also need to get an H Mart because I need more food. I want the pork belly. I want the banana milk. Okay? I want the fucking, I don't know, whatever's there. I want sushi. I want to eat sushi for the night. Yeah? Yeah, and I'm not going to film any reviews today. I want to keep it light so that at around 4, I'm going to take some sleeping pills, and then 4:30, hopefully I sleep. And then tomorrow I'm going to the Grove, Beverly Hills, not Beverly Hills, West Hollywood, and then, you know, I also need to study. I need to fucking study, oh my god. But, yeah, I don't know, I want to travel somewhere. I don't know, fuck. I don't know. I had a dream, right? Where I went back to the school again, or maybe some kind of educational institution, and the whole class is separated into 3 groups, and we need to do research on an artist, like a musical artist maybe, and I didn't do much research and I didn't do much homework, and then I'm like shaky on my confidence on this project, like maybe I'm gonna get a low score. Each group needs to stand up in the classroom and sing, and everyone sang, and then in my group, for some reason I saw Keith, and he's still that young, skinny, smirky, smuggy little devil that he was. And he stood up and he started singing the fucking on the middle part of Thanatos, which is a soundtrack to Evangelion, which I've been listening to lately. And they started singing along, and yeah. But the teachers can tell I didn't do much research. Yeah. I don't know. I'm having a bit of an existential crisis again. It's like I'm on thin ice, and it's so easy for me to suddenly lose all meaning in life and like lose all purpose in life. I can suddenly have a lot in me, and then suddenly I don't. I'm driven by momentary things, like Film 33. It ends. Leslie, we know how it's gonna end. The only thing that drives me that is like perpetual is like filmmaking for Hong Kong. Like that's the only thing. Like I don't have love. I don't have people to care for. Like, you know, in the US, that is. In LA, I don't really have anyone to care for, you know. Everything else is momentary. When I'm in USC, things just happen moment to moment. Like, nothing interesting is happening. No storylines, no arcs. So, yeah, I don't know. What the hell am I gonna eat for breakfast anyways? Dinner time. Yeah. Kimbap. Oh my god. This shit is $9. been so long. So long since I've had this. Alright, time now is 11:01 p.m. I just finished dinner. Big ups for finishing dinner a little bit earlier than usual compared to the last 2 weeks. But just a little bit slightly earlier, right? So, yeah. Nothing too important happened today, but I do have a lot to say. I have a lot on my mind right now, and I feel like I'm having a bit of a repeat of like what happened last year. So yeah, so today basically nothing happened. I woke up, I took a rest, and then I went to H Mart, bought a bunch of shit. The bus was completely packed when I went there, and I bought loads of stuff, nearly $80 worth of stuff. Lots of meat, banana milk, sesame oil, you name it, but it's great. And then I went back home. I had a half an hour phone call with Thomas, and then I left again. I went to Target. I went there by Lyft, bought some stuff, went back home, and then I had sushi, which is great. I love this monthly sushi thing. It's I really miss Nijia Market. But yeah, I really, really miss Nijia Market. But yeah, the salmon mashed salmon rolls. I had I don't know the English name for this. Bakebui Hokage fish, which is a kind of chewy fish that is like one of my favorite types of sashimis. Um, it's a little gross to eat it in America from a supermarket. Um, it's a little slimy, and the colors are not that great. But I'm so happy. I don't know if I have ingested any tapeworms or like any bacteria or viruses. I hope not, but it's fine. And then I had some kimbap on the side. I have some pickled cucumbers. It's not bad for a meal. Not a lot in terms of proteins, but I think it's okay because I had some meatballs for lunch and some peanut butter in the morning. And that's a little bit of protein as well. And I don't mind eating a little more snacks or some nuts later tonight. But yeah. Um Now for one more thing. Good news because Jonathan said that he just got July 4th off. So we are all going to the Anime Expo together. Hell freaking yes. Okay. Now all that's done. Now for the rant. I don't know why. Maybe this is like a side effect of living by myself a lot instead of going out constantly. Um, cause like after classes are over, I spend most of the days in my own apartment. Um, just filming reviews, watching movies, and editing, and like occasionally going out to buy food. And I feel like every time that happens to me, it also makes me vulnerable to thinking. And when I am free to think, I start developing sad thoughts. That happens all the time. It's not the first time. But I'm having a mini existential crisis again. So in the last few days, I've already begun to felt like this, and that is my life. It's so easy for my life to lose all meaning, and by that I mean if USC is over, if the classes are over, and there are no club meetings, um, then I kind of don't have anyone to hang out with. There's Michelle, but she's always busy. After she's done with the semester, soon she'll be going to Rome in the summer. There is Cliff, but like I don't really get to hang out with him anymore because he's always busy on film sets and he's in Santa Monica anyways. And then there's the new people that I've met in USC, like Glenn, Equo, Rachel. Those people are nice and all, but I feel like I'm not close enough with them to like hang out with them or whatever. And again, it's just the first semester of USC. I feel like I haven't gained that many, or at all, any deep friends. Like, even Glenn, even though I've worked with him on 2 film sets already, including once where he's acting for my short film, I still feel like I can't just DM Glenn and talk to him about my inner thoughts, whereas I'm okay with doing that with Thomas, even though it's weird because Thomas wouldn't understand. Um, but, yeah, I don't know. I don't fucking know. So anyways, back to my premise, back to what I'm gonna say. My life is losing meaning. I feel like I'm on thin ice. And on top of that, with the recent decision to drop my summer class, which I actually haven't done, I think I'm going to do it tonight. It means this summer I have nothing to do, which means I may take some time out and go back home. And after the phone call with my mom last night, not only am I sad about the fact that my apartment, my childhood home, is going to be gone, but also, just, I don't know what to do with my life. I don't know if I should go back to Hong Kong. I feel like I'm having a similar dilemma as I had back in August or like July last year. Last year around July, which is crazy. It's like a whole year ago already. I had this extremely sad, anxiety-inducing week where I had to decide whether I want to go back to Hong Kong or not. And thankfully I did. In fact, that was an extremely smart decision in my opinion. Either way, I would have been a depressed guy. Like, either way, if I stay in LA, I have to deal with the idea that I've lost Leslie and Film 33 just happened, and I have to deal with not doing anything for like half a year. I went back to Hong Kong and I had to deal with the idea that I'm meaningless in Hong Kong, that I have no future or career path in Hong Kong, and stuff like that. Either way, I'm fucking depressed, but it's better to spend it in Hong Kong because it's like the last chance I get to truly live with my parents, and the last real chance I get to live this long in Hong Kong until maybe a bajillion years later. Who knows? So yeah, I feel like my return to Hong Kong last year was great. And now I'm facing a similar dilemma. It's almost kind of stupid. Why am I getting freaked out by this dilemma again? I don't know. But I'm just not sure about buying another plane ticket back to Hong Kong and another plane ticket back. It's a waste of money. I called Thomas, and Thomas views things in a very logistical standpoint. And he's like, well, if you go to Hong Kong, the food is cheaper, the transportation is cheaper. In a sense, maybe it evens out. Honestly, if you do the math, it doesn't even out. The plane tickets are expensive, and also I keep paying rent for this room, by the way. So it's not much cheaper, actually. The food is cheaper, that's for sure, but it's not that much cheaper. But what I get in return is to be able to look at my own apartment one last time. Now that goes to 2 more concerns I have. Actually, 3 more concerns, right? 3 more. One is, I guess I'll have... Okay, the main concern regarding my own apartment is... This is gonna sound crazy, but if you know your friend is dying, would you want to see your friend die in front of you, or would you want that to happen off screen? Probably the latter. That's how I feel about my apartment, is like, I don't want to go back to my apartment just to feel bad. And, like, how do I say it in English? Say it like, I don't want to go back to Hong Kong, to my own apartment, and not wanting to leave. Like, the last day I leave my apartment, dragging my luggage out of the door, and just leaving my bedroom. I don't want to go through that. Since I'm already gone, since I'm already in LA. Maybe I should just keep it as is. Um, maybe I should just keep it as is. And why am I feeling emotional now? Jesus. Maybe I should just keep it as is and like not have to face the pain of leaving your own home forever. Um, and again, it's inevitable. Even if I get a job, even if I get 10 scholarships, the thing is, I'm not going to be able to find 4 million Hong Kong dollars mid-air. If I'm able to do that, then sure, my mom can continue living in this place. But the thing is, no. It's inevitable. And that's one thing, is I'm not prepared for the emotional damage. In theory, to be able to revisit my own home one last time, knowing that is my last time, and get some closure is nice. And I also called Retablo, and he said the same thing. But the thing is, Retablo isn't as poetic as me, as I am. I'm such a poet that I'm so sensitive, and that I don't know if I can handle the pain. The pain of leaving my own home is even greater than the idea of that pain, you know. Anyways, that's one thing. The second thing is, this is gonna be silly, but like, part of me leaving Hong Kong the last time was that I'm gonna leave Hong Kong, and next time I come back, I'll make sure I have some experience. I have a girlfriend, or I've lost my virginity or something like that. I know I'm still on about this whole romance thing, and it's tiring, and I know, but like, you know, given that Natalie's on her 5th boyfriend and Zara is on her 3rd, and whatever, my cousin has a girlfriend, and like everyone and their moms have boyfriends, and it's like, I just wanna be different when I come back. Like, I won't come back until I've done something. I won't come back until I've changed. I won't come back if I don't have a piercing, you know. So to come back to Hong Kong this soon again, merely half a year later, is like breaking that promise once again. It's like, at the end of the day, it's still a no. But yeah. And then I guess the next thing is the third thing is the most pragmatic one and the less sensible one, and that is, if I go back to Hong Kong, my life is meaningless there. Like, I feel like a ghost there, as in I just eat food and live day to day, and that's it. Like, I don't have a purpose in Hong Kong. It's not like I have a film project waiting for me, or like, I don't know, or like a film festival waiting for me. I don't. There's no purpose in me being in Hong Kong. Whereas in LA, again, it's the same rhetoric. I could be on film sets, I could meet more people. Hell, I could meet an interesting Hong Konger girl. If maybe I would miss the chance to do that if I went back to Hong Kong. I don't know. So I guess the other thing is, maybe I don't have to just go back to Hong Kong. Maybe I can also take a little time out to travel somewhere. Maybe to Japan, right? Which is a place that I definitely want to revisit again. Yeah. So, I don't know. My current... The good thing is that right now it's only early May, so it's still kind of early to make the decision. But right now I'm actually leaning more towards actually going back. As much as it's gonna hurt to, like, leave my apartment, I think it's good. The thing is, like, I'm gonna see what I can do, you know, to, like, as a goodbye. Like, maybe take a bunch of photos in the apartment. Maybe I'm gonna do something meaningful. Maybe I'm gonna film something in my own apartment, like a little short film to, like, commemorate it, you know? Or maybe I should invite people to my apartment and be like, hey, this is my apartment, as a nice gesture, as a goodbye gesture. Maybe there's something I can do. Maybe there's something ritualistic I can do to end it off. You know, and if there's something worth doing, I think I'm gonna go back. Even if it's for 1 week or maybe 1.5 weeks. If I go back, visit my apartment, dip, go back to LA, that's fine. I don't have to, you know, ask Natalie for a lunch hangout again or ask Cedric. Maybe I'll ask Cedric, but I don't have to do any of that. Another thing is the traveling thing. So I actually went to Leia, Miriam, and Zara's WhatsApp group and asked them, hey everyone, so I think I'm free this summer. So where are y'all going? So Zara's going to Italy to meet her boyfriend. So congrats. Miriam's going to Australia for traveling, but also for social work, practicing, internship, whatever. Of course, Leia's gonna be busy. Like, honestly, if I go back to Hong Kong, I won't have anyone to hang out with. Let alone anyone to travel with. In the best case scenario, if I live in a fantasy world, and if I'm the main character of this fantasy world, in the following 2 months, I meet an interesting Hong Konger girl, we DM each other, we hang out a bit in real life, and then I really like her for some reason, somehow, and we start dating officially, somehow, this fucking idiot. And then both of us decide to go back to Hong Kong together and maybe travel together to wherever, Taiwan, it could be South Korea. Then that would be the most perfect thing to ever exist, right? But the thing is, I highly doubt I'm going to meet anyone interesting. Maybe in the next semester I will, because I'm expanding into film production territory, which means I'm going to talk to more people and interact with more people. And maybe one day I'll come across an interesting Hong Konger girl. 1 in a billion, 1 in a billion chance. But I don't know. We don't live in a perfect world. I also just called Retablo and told him that by definition I'm demi-romantic, as in I don't love easily. And he's like, well, maybe that's just your personality because everyone's different. And I'm like, that's the point. By definition, I am demi-romantic because I don't develop romantic feelings with people easily. I've only done that twice in my life. With Mary and then with Leslie. And, neither of them went well. I guess Mary went fine because we never really had an ending, and then Leslie ended very ugly. And then Retablo asked me if I'm comfortable with this label, and I hate that we have entered this territory. I have much respect for the LGBTQ community, but I hate to label things. Like, by definition, I'm demi-romantic, but am I gonna go around and tell people, hey, I'm on the spectrum or whatever? No. Because at the end of the day, for me, it's just fun and games. Right? At the end of the day, for me, I'm just throwing this term out there just because, I don't really fucking care. So, I'm demi-romantic because God made me. If God exists. I'm demi-romantic because I'm just like that. And some people are like that, It's just, let's not make it a label. Let's just make it a fun and games thing, But I digress. I think, I don't know. I'm asking Glenn, I'm asking Rachel, if Glenn decides to, organize some random trip to some random, Trinidad and Tobago, oh, sure, I'm gonna go. I don't want to go alone. See, I went to Santa Barbara last month in spring break, or more like last month. That was in March. Fuck me. And it's fine. I had fun. I ate food, but it's at some point it starts getting bland and boring. At some point it feels pointless. It's like a silly child trying his best to have fun, and this is his best because he can't, travel with someone else. Again, sometimes I imagine if Nick is with me in these awkward situations, I don't know, it would be so much more fun. If I went to an HKSA meeting and Nick is right beside me, no matter how cringy we are, we're going to be laughing at each other's jokes because there's one other person. All I need is one other person, right? If I can travel anywhere in the world with one other person, that would be amazing, okay? I want to do that. Hell, I want to go to Japan with Michelle because, like, it would be interesting to see her in weird, like, situations and to see her experience culture shock. I want to, I don't know, travel somewhere with, I don't know, just like anyone, any friend would be nice. I just want to experience something. So, yeah, in a perfect world, I meet an interesting Hong Kong girl instantly, like next fucking week. And we get close and then we hang out. We don't even need to like date. If she and I coincidentally go back to Hong Kong in the summer and we have overlaps, that's great. I've never hung out like how many Hong Kongers have I met so far, by the way? You know, JT, starting from JT to Potter to Diana to Pepper to fucking Rachel, this hidden Hong Kong girl, to Stephanie, to the 3 guys I met in my community college, HKSA, to I don't know, Glenn, to John L, to the couple other people whom I met on that film set, like Jeremy and Franklin and Small Justin, who DM'd me last night at around 3 a.m. He's like, oh, I haven't spoken to you in a while. And I'm like, yeah. And he said he declared a minor in cinematic arts and he followed me on Letterboxd. And I'm like, oh, great. You know, and he's seen like 500 and something films, which is like, okay, respectable. He's seen Memories of Murder. He's seen Persona and he liked Persona. So I respect that, you know, but haha, I've seen more than 1,000 on Letterboxd, so you better catch up. But like, I've met so many Hong Kongers and I digress. What was I gonna say? None of them are that close to me. And one way or the other, I don't know. I feel like I drift away from them. I don't really have any close Hong Konger friends. My closest friends are like Michelle and Tova. Like, which is so unexpected. Like, just go back in time and tell 16-year-old me that in LA my closest friends is going to be a half Persian, half Latina girl and a black girl. And like, yeah, sure. You know? And also a lot of Asians, right? Cliff and Justin. But again, I'm like so far removed from them. I low-key want to like just DM Justin, the Malaysian guy, and like just let's hang out sometime. Let's talk about some director shit. Because I feel like we ended on a weird note where at the end of my day 2 of Objects in Mirror, Justin wants to hang out with me after the shoot, but I'm like, I'm fucking tired and I live in downtown LA. You know? I don't know. I digress. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, and then at church I met a bunch of Hong Kongers. But like all of them are kind of boring and uninteresting and like I don't fall in love with people easily. And I just want to meet someone interesting and that's it. Maybe I don't have to go back to Hong Kong. Or maybe I can go back to Hong Kong for like 2 weeks. But this summer is gonna be worth it if I'm spending it with someone I know. It's the 3rd fucking summer I've been here in LA, and if I spend it with someone I know, you know, that would be so fucking nice. Spring break with someone I know, it's so nice. Like, I hate that people are now making dating a normal thing. Because dating is supposed to be a normal thing, but to me it isn't. Because I'm a fucking child. Because of arrested development. Because I stopped growing up since I was 13 or something. But like, people are like, oh, you're on your 6th boyfriend? Oh, well, I'm on my 17th girlfriend, you know. Let's hang out and have dinner sometimes and be adults and like, you know, register for public housing or like buying cars or whatever. Like, yay, life. Like, fuck you. That's not life. So I don't know. I just my current prediction, if I were to be 100% realistic on where I stand right now, it would be that this summer I'm going to spend May and June working my best, doing my best to meet more people. I know Glenn probably knows about 50 more Hong Konger girls. Because Glenn introduced another one to Rachel or something. I don't know. Um, but I'm gonna try my best to meet more people still in May and June. But if not, it's fine. I think in July there's the Anime Expo and there's also Criterion flash sale. I have to be there, unfortunately. I have to be there. But in the latter half of July and most of August, I would like to travel somewhere and go back to Hong Kong. I don't know where. I would love it if it's Japan. Even if it's solo, it's a little sad, but you know what? Fine, I'll book an Airbnb and I'll go. The thing is, tons of people travel solo to Japan. And if you travel solo, you get to choose where you want to go. Well, if you're two people, you get to decide, and that's also really cool, but unfortunately, no one's going with me. So I think I'm gonna travel solo somewhere. Even if it's Europe, like, bring me to fucking Poland. I don't know. I want to go Czech Republic. You know. Um. So yeah, yeah. And then I'm gonna go back to Hong Kong for a wee bit. Low key, if there's one thing I want to do, it's a little weird, but like Wetlands Park is gonna close down very soon in Hong Kong. I want to make a short film there, and not like sneaky, but like I want to call up the organization and tell them like, hey, can I make a short film for you guys before it closes, before the government takes it down? You know, can I make a short film with you guys? And like have it be an official thing for the company. It's very weird because I don't like selling out. But, well, if I gain money from that, hell fucking yeah. But like, I love Hong Kong. I love the nature of Hong Kong, and I feel like with the Wetlands Park situation, I can make something. I can make something pretty profound and heavy. So I want to just make a short film in Wetlands Park. I feel like that would be a beautiful thing to do. And also shoot something at my home. I want to develop a habit where wherever I go and I'm bringing my Sony camera with me, I film something in log in 4K, knowing that someday in the future I'll somehow use this footage, like a B-roll to my entire life. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. I'm gonna try my best to sleep earlier tonight. Tomorrow I'm going to the Grove. I'm going to watch Evil Does Not Exist. Hopefully the QR code works. If it doesn't, I'm gonna rage. I'm also gonna look at the Criterion stand again because why not? And I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I don't know. Good thing is, for me, summer starts in like May, so I have a long ass time to think on this, marinate on this. Like I have May, June, July, August. I have nearly 4 months of holiday. You know, so I have I have a lot of time to sort of marinate and just like wait. But yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it.